Hello, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. My name is Skylent, and today I am going to rant about microtransactions, kind of as a whole, but definitely, most certainly, here in single-player games. Microtransactions, micro DLC, you might say, but nowhere near an actual expansion or expanded content that's actually playable. No, just microtransactions, things that range from I guess expedition of grind, power leveling, or just actually like XP boosts, really kind of specifically, as well as like content inside the game that can help you level up faster or get you through the game a little bit faster. Stuff like that. I'm not talking about microtransactions, or normally you'd call it DLC, maybe even expansions. But I'm not talking about stuff that like will add something entirely new to the game that you should probably pay for. After the game comes out, maybe a couple months down the line. They continue to develop the game, and there's a new part of the game. I am not talking about that. I'm talking about stuff that the game is built around. I'm talking about the game day one has not just DLC, but a whole plethora of microtransactions. It has an entire monetization scheme on top of being buy to play. And we have seen this slippery slope slipped on for a decade now. Really, like with Call of Duty adding in, all these like seasonal passes, these huge DLC packs. And back then we loved them, right? They added so much content, and in a way it was fine. It still wasn't perfect, but we kind of let it slide, didn't we? And then, it wasn't perfect, but it was kind of like the best case scenario, or so we thought. And then more games added in like more, almost like mandatory season passes, like with Evolve, where the monetization, obviously it killed the game, but the monetization was not good with Evolve. But a lot of games had a lot of things in common with Evolve, but they were just a little bit sneakier about it. And it was just a little bit, it wasn't the best case scenario, but it wasn't the worst, right? No, but see, it's a slippery slope, and we keep sliding on it. Here now, Shadow of War is a game that's going to be a single-player game that now has microtransactions within it. And there's definitely some arguments for why microtransactions can actually be really, really good. I'm definitely a proponent of the free-to-play systems and all sorts of unique and ingenious the monetization schemes. I'm totally cool with that. Working with Free MMO Station, I loved reviewing the actual schemes, the cash shops in these games, and I love seeing the creative ways the developers can reward players and the way players can sort of like reward the developers and incentivize them to create good content. However, in a single-player game, in the way that it is set up in Shadow of War, it is not a good loop. And by a loop, I mean, the players spending money on fun stuff for the players to play. It's not really that fun stuff. It's just expedition of gameplay, basically skipping gameplay. And it incentivizes the developers to make the game grindier and basically worse. It worsens the balance, and it worsens the overall gameplay as a whole. The game state that a player is going to be in is going to be a little bit grindier, elongated, and the pace isn't going to be as good as if you spent money where the developers want you to. They are incentivized to incentivize you to spend money in the game because obviously they want more money. So that's basically it here. If you guys want to know the specifics of the Shadow of War monetization system, you're going to have to go look into it. And for those who are fans of the games, you're going to have to actually go read into that and see how it's exactly going to be changing your gameplay. I would love to hear your comments below to see how much it could potentially change it. But I'm going to tell you right here, and I'm going to echo what every other critic is saying. Like Angry Joe did a video, I think, first, really talking about this and freaking out about it. But really, basically, it's just this. If you think that the game won't be in some way influenced by this, by game design, you're just wrong. I don't want to say stupid, but you're simply wrong. These kind of cash shops, okay, whenever any cash shop or monetization scheme is involved, it incentivizes the developers and the publishers combined to create a unique, different product. So if a game is a free-to-play game, it's going to have a unique type of cash shop. If a game is buy-to-play, it's going to have a unique type of, DLC packaging or premium, or maybe it is just, hey, $50, boom, there you go, that's it. Really, that's how it's supposed to be, but I think me, you, all of us know that it's been really fucked with lately. Everything has been bleeding back and forth, and in a way, that's not a bad thing. I'm not really angry about that. I think it is cool that, Overwatch also does have, skins, and it has, for instance, it has free, additive content. We're going to have free new maps, free new characters. That's cool. And then we have to just run through the RNG loot box system, which is actually, I don't like the way, it's RNG based, but, you pay for the game and you have all the playable content. That's it. simple as that, and you can earn the cosmetics in game. Relatively easy, though there is definitely something to complain about with limited time skins. Oh, fucking absolutely. Especially since they're RNG based and not achievement based. However, really what we're seeing is more and more games are, they're going a little bit extra. Now we do see games like Overwatch, right? And Titanfall too has been changing the system, right? They didn't follow the Halo system. They didn't follow the Call of Duty system. They're just like, no, all DLC is going to be free. And we just have, this RNG box thing to replace it. And that's kind of fine. It's kind of fine. We can do better. But please keep in mind that for this past decade, it's always been, it could be better, but this is probably the best solution that we can afford. Fucking no, guys. No. As players, we do not need to stand for this bullshit. Just like whenever you're playing Hearthstone or, especially, holy shit, Clash Royale. These games, they don't have to be as grindy as they are. They don't have to be as unrewarding to play as they are and incentivize, spending so much money into them. But they are, because that's how they make their money. Now, you hear me talking about a lot of multiplayer games. And with multiplayer games, it's a little bit maybe different, and maybe we see it as a little bit more acceptable because these are free-to-play multiplayer games. So they have server costs and blah, 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 fucking blah, whatever, guys. And there's a tremendous amount of progression, I guess you can say, in those games generally, in those genres, like card games or MOBAs, whatever. And I think that we can kind of excuse it, but it's still not a full excuse for the monetization schemes that we do have. Such as League of Legends having to unlock every character. I don't really appreciate that. We've seen with Smite, Paladins, and Dota 2, you can add an option to purchase the whole game or just give it for free, and they'll do just freaking fine. But whatever. There's a whole lot of emotion involved with this because we've been playing these games and we love these games. And dude, I love them too. I really do. I really love these games. I don't know why everyone in my comments are like, why do you play these games if you shit on them all the time? Maybe because I fucking care. And, maybe if you actually opened your eyes once in a while and really realized what you were playing and doing with your life, then you would know exactly what I know. Regardless, anyways, so this is mainly a complaint on the single-player monetization schemes that we've been seeing. I think that Dead Space was one of the first. I think one of the Assassin's Creed did it. Fuck Ubisoft, but anyways, a lot. Oh yeah, it was definitely in a Far Cry as well that I played. There's a lot of single-player microtransactions that I think could potentially have a place if they're debated. Like if they were debatably micro DLC, where it was like micro. Download content. You can go and do like one extra quest line on a, singular island. And I think actually that we've got Bethesda going to be doing that with their mod scene. They're actually going to be kind of like hiring and working together, partnering professional modders so that we can have micro expansions and stuff like that. And it's like, super pristine. I think that's kind of cool. That's kind of interesting. But day one on the fucking disc, DLC, that's not even actual playable content. Actually, if it was actual playable content, I'd be pretty fucking pissed too. But day one microtransactions where the whole game is actually going to be revolving around progression because it's an RP fucking G. It is based around progression. You're putting in these microtransactions to expedite through the game, which is just... Jesus Christ, that's the entire balance of the game. That's, to some people, that is the game. The RPG, the leveling up, the speed running, and so, oh my God, wait, hold on. You won't be able to speed run this game, will you? Could you actually speed run? Like, dude, what? Because I don't know. Anyways, there's just a lot of fucky shit going on with this game that it really seems like for real gamers, people who actually play games, in order to gamify them, to master them, to break them, to have a unique and interesting experience, that's all kind of broken. It's just a little bit fucking fractured because of these microtransactions that are shoved in. And not only that, not only are these microtransactions do they exist, but it's also the way they exist. With the RNG, card pack or loot box opening, so you don't even have a guarantee of what your money is going to actually purchase. So if there was just like a super duper easy mode that you wanted to purchase for your child, then, like $1 extra, then maybe this conversation might go a little bit differently. Maybe. Still, if that was day one DLC, I would really not appreciate it. Now, there have been some cases of, single player-ish games like the new update for Dark Souls 2, where they did the Scholar of the First Sin. They added it. They kind of remixed the game, and they also added in some new things with the engine. And that cost like $20 extra. So that made me salty. But then when you have this, which is day one, the game is built around it. It's on the disc, and I don't know, dude. It just feels really shady. And we're actually seeing a lot of stuff like this with amiibos crossing into this new territory where you kind of have to buy an amiibo in order to get the hard mode in Metroid and stuff like that. It's just like, what the fuck? I just can't even, dude. So yeah, my friends and family, I would love to know your thoughts and feelings on this type of microtransactions. I honestly think that it could be done so much more tasteful, and I think a lot of people would also say, well, if it was just cosmetic, it would be kind of different, and I kind of agree, it would be a little bit different, but at the same time, why couldn't the cosmetic changes, why couldn't that just be in the game as an achievement of some kind? Why does it always have to be behind like a pre-order bonus? See, that's the thing, guys, is this the slippery slope. We were okay with pre-order bonuses. Oh, we get this cool skin for our character, you know, things like that. And it slides and slides and slides. And as long as you keep forgiving developers and publishers, you know, putting this stuff in your games, and you keep celebrating these games, and, you know, it might not be a bad game in the end, but overall, it's not a good message. It is going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. We already know what the mobile market is like because that just exploded with literal cancer. And now what's happening here with our AAA games? We're getting like Chinese monetization schemes in our Western AAA games and our Western RPGs that are focused on progression. And we have loot boxes that allow us to, for a chance, bypass a lot of the progression. Basically just bypassing the game because fuck all, we want to spend money and miss some of the game. I don't know, dude. I don't know the mentality of whales, and I don't know the mentality of publishers. They just want money, and apparently they're getting it. But I don't know. They're not going to get any credit from me, and hopefully not you too, friends. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and now you know.